Started on the 15th of March 2000. A rather large baby called Sommer Redding popped out, or was rather cut out, of my mother's womb. Apparently I didn't cry, I just blankly stared at my parents in confusion of why I was disturbed from my rather long stay inside my mum's stomach. Life was good. My mother, my father, my dog Jazz and I all lived together in a pretty little house in the suburbs of Adelaide. I had a lot of family that spoilt me, being the only child in the whole family so far.
On January 14, 2003, life was going to take a unique turn.
She would have to share all that attention with another kid, Lacey, or as she was soon dubbed, Lacifer. I can confidently say I remember the day my sister was born so clearly, and the chaos of my parents rushing to drop me off at my grandma's, only for me to see them again with a tiny, evil-looking infant that screamed and cried for a living. Lacey and I wore a lot of matching outfits, and were both pretty spoiled, though sometimes I struggled to understand why the attention was not exclusively on me. I was pretty keen on music and singing, and have a plethora of embarrassing home videos of naked me singing to the Wiggles in the backyard, chasing my dog and my sister. I also found a love for Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story and Marvin the Martian from the Looney Tunes. And I'll admit my love for both franchises hasn't exactly gone away. Just before I turned 5, all of my family set off to live in Queensland, and we moved specifically to the Gold Coast, a place I've ended up hating with every fibre of my being. Our house was huge, and I never really appreciated the luxurious life I lived until I was a lot older. I did little nippers at Mermaid Beach, had a pool, a veranda by a canal, and a private playground in my backyard. I even had my own playroom, bigger than me and my sister's room combined. We went on holiday every September, travelled around Thailand and Malaysia, and have some pretty near-death stories from our travels. When Jazz died, I was devastated. I was too young to really appreciate a dog until I reached grade 4, and I remember coming home from a friend's house and my dad asking me, "What do you want more than anything in the whole world?" My answer was a DSI, while in reality I really did want a dog. And to my surprise, a little American Staffy pup waited for me at home. We named her Rosie, and she is, honest to God, my greatest companion in the whole world and one of my best friends to this day. I met my human best friend in grade 5. We bonded over a silly show that aired on Cartoon Network called Bobo 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 Bo, which I think completely influenced my humour and taste in everyday life so drastically it even influences me now. I was mad for Bobo Bo. Insanely so, I received action figures for my birthday and broke down into tears of joy. I grew up with a small group of friends and ran amok around our pristine preppy school on the Gold Coast. Became extremely close, bonding over the time which we do not speak of when we were both suspended for school. We practically became glued together after that. Sleepovers, cosplaying our favourite characters, and doing all that other best friend stuff. We were avid artists and started drawing clubs after classes to sit around and play music and just doodle. I have drawn every day of my life since I was 10 years old, and the permanent deformity in my middle finger on my right hand is there to prove it. Maybe I should have learnt how to grip a pencil a little better. When I was in grade 9, I was still taking Japanese. I'd been taking Japanese for nearly 3 years, and we were given the opportunity to travel on a student trip to Japan, and I can confidently say it was one of the most exciting and greatest experiences of my whole life. I stayed with a host family, and my host sister Mammy was so kind to me. I bought a lot and ate a lot, and Disneyland made me cry. I have saved up since, and after I graduate, Yukino and I are heading back to our favourite place in the world on our own, just 'cause we can. At the end of that year, my family fell apart, leaving me and my sister to step up for the first time in our lives. I held the weight and responsibilities of my family, and struggled with anxiety and depression. My mother, my sister, myself, and our 2 dogs moved back to Adelaide. Honestly, the only person I knew I would actually miss was Yukino. I started grade 12 at Meriden Senior College and made a small circle of friends that I experienced a whole new world with. Shout out to Marina. I was forced to mature so fast. With my mother working and my sister at school, a lot was placed on my shoulders as the eldest child. My life wasn't fancy trips to Thailand and expensive mansions anymore. We stop the story in grade 12 in this video where I reflect on who I am as a person and how I came to be that way. With experience, I grew comfortable in my own skin, laugh at all the bad things that have happened, and smile through all the hardships I face today. I'm still growing up and learning, and hopefully this documentary will help me remember the good times in my 17 years of life. I want to say that the future looks bright.